Center, along with Emily.
Hi, everyone.
And this is a presentation on student wellness and stress management. So today we'll kind of be talking about, we'll start with just providing the definition of what is wellness. Then we'll go over the mental health spectrum and the difference between stress and anxiety. And then we'll talk about, make you think about where you stand on the spectrum, improving your mental health, importance of balance, how to maintain wellness, and resources as well. Next slide. Is that okay still for everyone?
We're not on the next slide. It's over. There we go. All right. Okay. So what is wellness? Wellness is an active process of becoming aware of and making choices towards a healthy and fulfilling life. So wellness is more than being free from illness. It is a dynamic process of change and growth.
So this is the visual for the mental health spectrum. It's not just black or white. You're not either unwell or well. It's a whole spectrum. So you can be healthy, you can kind of be in coping, struggling, and then you're unwell at the very far end of the spectrum.
Okay, so like Emma said, people tend to perceive our mental health as something that is black and white, and that's just not the case. So we are neither perfectly healthy or completely unwell at all times. Our mental health lies on a spectrum, and how we're feeling can fluctuate up and down throughout our lives. It's also important to note that achieving a healthy mental health is not a linear progression. So even if we are experiencing wellness, there will be ups and downs in that phase.
Okay, so now we're going to touch on what's the difference between stress and anxiety. So everyone experiences stress at some point in their life. Stress is often a response to a threat in a situation. We often go into fight or flight response, and also sometimes as well. So that is just your immediate reaction to a specific circumstance. It's usually caused by an external factor like a deadline or an argument. I'm sure we've all experienced that before. And it's the most common trigger of anxiety. So once your stress becomes too severe, that's when anxiety comes in. So anxiety is a reaction to stress. It's a disproportional fear to the situation. Everybody feels anxious from time to time, but it becomes problematic when it begins to affect day-to-day life. Next slide.
All right, so when am I mentally healthy? So it's when we can cope with stress, we can regulate our emotions, we typically feel good, and when we are able to focus. So this allows us to do our work and study well. And then it's also when we effectively manage our lives. Next slide.
So when are we mentally unwell? Oftentimes when we're unwell, we have overwhelming negative emotions. This can be lots of stress, as I mentioned before. This could be fear, this could be anger, sadness, all of the above. You have often nervous thoughts, difficulty coping with stress, frequent mood swings, and often your sleep is affected as well. Next slide.
Okay, so when is my distress too much? So it's when we cannot cope with any stress. It's actually long lasting, and it affects our day-to-day life. Our emotions are severely intense, and you really just don't feel like yourself. Next slide.
So how to improve your mental health. These are just a few tips that you can try yourself to see if they help you in any way. So first and foremost, identify what's causing you stress. Exercise has been proven to really help improve mental health. Eating healthy as well. Getting a good quality of sleep is very important. It's important to take time out for your family and friends. Problem solving, learn common techniques, which we'll go over in this presentation. It's also important to always ask for help when you feel you need it. And change to positive thinking rather than negative thinking. That's huge. And self-care. Next slide.
Okay, so what is self-care? So self-care is taking care of yourselves. So that means that we are decreasing our stress levels and we are increasing our happiness. So achievement self-care refers to doing tasks that give you a sense of achievement. So such as chores, grocery shopping, showering, any kind of hygiene. And then pleasure self-care refers to activities that you find fun or pleasurable. So this can vary for everyone. So this is kind of related to leisure. And then also practicing mindfulness, which is being present in the moment without judgment. Next slide. Okay, So the importance of balance. So living a balanced lifestyle allows you to achieve and maintain wellness. Focusing on all areas of your life is important. So this creates stability in our lives and it allows you to function effectively and efficiently. So when we're not balanced, this can actually become a domino effect in other areas of our lives, and we can be negatively affected by this. And this can also then affect the people that we are most close with as well. Next slide.
So breathing is really important. It's one of the most common coping techniques that people use. So if you're trying to focus on your breathing, ensure that you're in a comfortable chair or laying on your bed. Any comfortable position will work. And take a deep breath in for 4 seconds through your nose, hold it for 2 seconds, and release the breath over a period of 6 seconds through the nose again if possible. Pause slightly before breathing again, sorry. Practice, practice, practice. So this may feel very strange when you first start, but that could be anything. Anything that you want to be good at will take practice. But also for when you first begin your breathing, you may want to try, instead of doing 4, 2, 6, you may want to do breathe in for 3, hold for 1, and out for 4. You might find that easier starting off and then work your way up to the 4 to 6. So when you're doing your breathing exercises, make sure you're using your stomach breathing rather than chest breathing. That's really important. You want to put a big breath in all the way down to the bottom of your stomach and your diaphragm rather than breathing really short up in your chest. And just try to practice this at least once or twice a day. And any time, just if you get a moment, if you're just finished a meal, if you're lying in bed, it's just really great to really connect with you. Next slide.
Okay, so checking in with yourself often can help prevent any strugglings from becoming worse. So being mindful of your emotions or how you're physically feeling helps you be proactive in changing your behaviors. So asking yourselves these types of questions can be very helpful. So things like, am I eating well-balanced meals? Am I getting good quality of sleep? Am I doing any physical activity? Am I doing any leisure activities? Am I being social with friends and family? And then am I getting out of the house? So if there are any questions that you actually answered no to, allow yourself to reflect on these possible changes you can make. So create a plan in how you can achieve these changes, and then remember to start small because you don't want to overachieve and then actually have difficulty doing this, and then you can add more once it becomes easier. Next slide.
So humans are social beings, so the social connection is extremely important to live a healthy lifestyle. No matter how much of an introvert you are, it's always great to have a laugh with a friend or a family member. So that's a really important thing to take note. Social connections, as I mentioned, are a part of a healthy lifestyle, even and especially in times of crisis. So right now, especially during COVID-19, we're all starting learning techniques with going remote. So it's really important to feel supported and support those around you. It's easy to feel overwhelmed and anxious right now, especially, but with patience, self-awareness, and support from others, it is possible to maintain your mental health throughout this time. Even though it might seem overwhelming right now, if we support one another, we can definitely get next slide.
All right, so some positive practices that you can do. So again, like I mentioned, we are in the middle of a pandemic, so we do get caught up in watching the news, Googling updates, and self-diagnosing ourselves. So try not to do that as much as we can, because this constant negative information will have an effect on your mental health. And then you could also try turning off the TV and then try meditating, going for a walk, or even yoga. So doing activities like this can help you calm down and will also help you maintain an overall healthy lifestyle. Next slide.
Just to add on to that slide as well, especially now when we're all going back to remote learning, it would be really important to add these kinds of activities, these positive practices that you enjoy doing into your daily schedule. So for grad studies, and you guys will be, I'm sure, overwhelmed with lots of work, but make sure you work it into your day. Like doing your positive things is just as important as getting your assignment done or whatnot. So this is a few mental health resources that are available outside of the SBCC. So there's Bridge the Gap, which you can find on the website on the slide here. iTrack Mon Listeners, which is a really great kind of peer mentoring program. So even if you want to sign up to become a Mon listener, that's really great. There's Center for Clinical Interventions, the Calm app, which is a great one as well. And Anxiety Canada has a lot of great information on it. Headspace app and Stronger Minds Beacon, which is set outside of Ontario, but it has a lot of great resources. They set up a lot of things for free during COVID, and yeah, they have some good resources if you can check that one out too.
And also, just as an extension for that, so if anyone is familiar with like the Calm app, it is a bit expensive. So there are actually videos that are from that app on YouTube that are free. So if you can't afford the Calm app because it is expensive, that is a good resource as well. They have their own channel, so you can just look it up there. So this is our contact information. So if you want to get in contact with anyone, you can call our number there, which is 709-864-8500. So to make a counseling appointment, you can email swccwellness@mon.ca. And then we also have physicians on hand. So that to make an appointment with them would be the SWCC front desk at mon.ca. And then we also have our website. You can even just go onto mon.ca and type in student wellness and it'll pop up. But that's it there. So www.mon.ca / student wellness.
That concludes our presentation.
Thank you so much, Emily and Emma. And maybe you can remember to stop recording within your PowerPoint.
Oh.
That might be a good tip.